spooky. So, alright, give me 1 second there, mate. One second. I hate blinds. A copious amount. Finally, good God. Hello, Lee and Daisy. How are you guys? I'm trying to figure this out. There's a really bad lightning storm going on right now, so I'm just kind of figuring stuff out. By the way, if I look a little bit pink and red in the face, I went to a water park today with Vid, and I got heavily sunburnt because I'm white, and naturally I get sunburnt, even though I try my very best to not get sunburnt. So that was fun. Greetings and salutations. Thank you, username. Yeah, I feel like a boiled shrimp. Dude, a boiled shrimp would still be colder than this. At least it was already done. Ow, frick. I have a headache. Don't do that. I have a skin ache. I got my first day of school tomorrow. I'm going to go over there looking like I'm about to go, oh, 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 Merry Christmas. Oh, oh, oh. I look like I'm about to go like Santa Claus moment on them. Yeah, there's a lightning storm over here, so I'm trying to see if I can get giant flashes of light going through the camera. Hold on, let's see what happens if I turn off the light. Boink. I'm gonna leave the lights off. Probably gonna go binge Doki Doki edits and playthroughs and stuff. You're in a rabbit hole, brother. What? Okay, wait, there was lightning out there. For a second ago, it was just really, really bright. Just, oh, yeah, there it is. Again, not sure if you can see it or anything like that, but give it a second. I promise it'll actually come up. I want it to show up on the stream, like, just like a huge, like, fucking camera flash of light just shines on my face. Hold on. I promise it'll happen eventually. There are lightning strikes out there, like, every second. It's amazing. I'm just waiting for it to flash into this room. Which, again, it might take a second, so. The storm literally got here, like, 5 minutes ago, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'm a pink boiled piece of crap now, so. I always notice that my hair gets super fluffy after a pool, so yeah, it hurts to open my eyes this wide, so I'm just completely burnt at this point. So that's always fun. And I say fun in a sarcastic manner because, I mean, God, it's extremely painful. Hey, there was one time I got a sunburn on my shoulders, and my shoulders were just completely blistered. Like my skin boiled so badly, like it caused blisters on my shoulders. Second degree sunburn wise. So, not nearly as bad as the other one. The real red ball. I just read that message. That's crazy. We're just waiting. So the stream I believe that you all voted for was me to talk about what late high school feels like. And I'm still red all around. Like the warmth is like burned into my skin. And the human body is weird. Well, the only good thing about this sunburn, it burned all my acne off. That's the only good thing about a sunburn, just so you know. That's the only good thing about a sunburn. It burns all the acne off. So my shoulders, my face, No longer have that much acne. Only acne is like right here. It's like very small amounts, very small copious amounts. I accidentally scrolled until it was one of those weird weirdos where it's a woman doing naughty things. I get those on shorts. Oh, I used to anyway. Back when it was like a huge popular thing. I'll say back when it was like 2 months ago, or 2 or 3 months ago, I believe it was. It was like right at the beginning or like toward the middle of summer. People were doing crazy stuff. I'm still waiting. When I hear thunder shake the entire house, and you probably will too, um, then I'll turn the lights off and see if the lightning actually comes up. And like it's alive. Ooh, that's even worse. Doesn't Twitch exist for that reason now? If you just want to watch near porn content, just go to Twitch now. Like, these women are getting insane with the stuff they're getting away with. I know one of them, Wish Critical, went over, and it was like this girl who had like green underwear on, and she was like green screening the game on like her underwear. It was so fucking weird, dude. I don't understand it. Why people are so horny for that stuff. It gets some followers, I guess. My throat's parched, brother. So, I'm here to talk about what late high school feels like. Well, let me go and start off with my thesis sentence here. Not even my thesis sentence, just like the overall like state of this. So, high school is a very it's a wild ride because it's let's pretend it's a roller coaster. The beginning, you going up the little lift hill. It's not that bad. You're just having a little fun time going along. Freshman year, easiest high school year you'll probably have. Kind of. I don't know. I finished my freshman year with practically all A pluses. Everyone else I know pretty much got similar things like high A's, and maybe the one class they're bad at they got like a mid B or whatever. Point is no one really fails freshman year. I mean, you'd have to actually be stupid if you could fail your freshman year. Um, Ow. So, shine a blue light on your face and you'll turn purple. I already have that amethyst crystal that I can use. So freshman year is the easiest year of high school, I would believe, anyway. At least that's how it was for me. Oh, because I have to see that. I'll keep talking. So after you go through freshman year, where are my gems anyway? Because I'm pretty sure there's a blue crystal in there somewhere. Maybe. Where did I put it? I don't remember. I'll check that later. Anyway, so when you get to sophomore year, it is going to be a difficult thing. Like a whole kicking caboodle. Like it's algebra. Let me go and say this now. I'm going to go ahead and say this now. I still have my old sophomore book. Algebra 2 is not the same as Algebra 1. I promise you, whatever you learned, I thought it was mod. I thought you were too. I added you as I at least do that. Like I added you as a added you as a mod. I thought at least I invited you to it anyway. Algebra 2 is not the same as Algebra 1. It does not have anything. Whatever you learned in Algebra 1, forget about it. It won't help you here. Algebra 2 I took in sophomore year, which is different. Most people take it in their junior year. Geometry is what they normally take in sophomore year. I have my geometry book somewhere. I don't know where, though. I probably moved it somewhere and put it. Geometry and Algebra 2 are like this close to each other. So I guess taking geometry first would help you a little bit, but it wouldn't do much for you. Algebra 2 is a very difficult class. I don't even want to bother reading a question from this old book that I have, because if I do, I'm going to end up spending about 5 minutes reading one question. It's bad. It's bad, bad. So that's the one class you got to worry about. If you don't have good grammar by, is it your school book? Yeah, this was the back in my, so my school was weird, and we took algebra 2 for sophomores and uh geometry for juniors. So we thought, like, okay, cool, so algebra 2 right after algebra 1, man, this should be really easy. Algebra 2 has nothing to do with algebra 1. There are small references to algebra 1 throughout algebra 2. Can you show me the math book? Well, here's a couple questions. Here's one of the bottom ones right here. Read one of the bottom ones. This stuff is crazy weird for no reason. Like, it's insane just how difficult some of these questions are. I don't even want to say difficult. Like, if you learn how to do some of the equations, you're set for the most part. I finished algebra 2 in geometry with B's, I believe. Not high B's, more like mid to low B's, because they're really difficult classes, okay? I'm not judging that. Taking algebra 2 this year, I'm going to kill myself. No, don't. I understand that, trust me. I thought algebra 2 was going to be complete, just adjacent to algebra 1, and it's not. It's not the same thing. So, these questions are very long and drawn out questions. So, my best, okay, like, the best thing I can offer is when you're doing these classes, do you know about the JEE exam? I live in Tennessee, so I might know that exam, but in a different name, because every state has a different name for different exams. This is, if you, so algebra 2 and geometry, all about equations. All about equations. There is no end to them. You have to memorize them. That's it. Learning them is, some of them are harder. The easiest part of algebra and geometry are probably the probability and statistics part of it. I would say, God, how many? It's toward the end of algebra and also toward the end of geometry. So, I don't know. There's the probability questions are easier. It's the toughest exam for math worldwide. Oh, God. I don't think I'm taking that anytime soon. Maybe I am. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to end up taking it in this year. I'm going into my senior year this year. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's going to happen. So your sophomore year is going to take you from this to this really quickly, and you can't really do anything to change it. God almighty. 10:15 at night, and I'm already choking. To be fair, I had to go to a water park and get my face burnt like hell, dude. It's so bad. So, sophomore is going to take you from here, when you were at freshman, to here. At about, yeah, pretty much at about sophomore level. There's a huge sudden change, and you kind of got to get used to it fast. Junior year is your hardest year of high school. I will say that. I say that in the most generous way possible because it's different for everyone. I say that because it's different for everyone. Paper of JE makes different levels of math. I might look into that later because I have to make sure I'm not taking anything weird. So that's the whole gist of it. Can you check it later? Yeah, after the stream's over, I can for sure check it. So, junior year, again, your hardest year, mainly people's hardest year. Because when you're in the freshman level, you're right here. When you're in the sophomore level, you get jumped up to here. When you're in your junior year, you get taken up to this. So it's a little bit more, but just enough to keep you stressed, anxious, and sleepless. So be warned of that. Your junior year will be pretty difficult. There won't be a definite answer on whether or not you pass it well or, don't do well. It doesn't matter. Just try to adjust. That's the only thing you can do. In high school, they're really, and depending on the kind of teachers you have. For my history teacher, he he was interesting. No one liked him. I thought he was he had a very interesting background. My history teacher was the son of a Secret Service agent. So he knew like he personally met and knew a lot of presidents from 1960 something, 70s, 80s, 90s, all that sort of things. He met these people and knew them. Like, he has a really interesting background. A lot of the stories he told were just so wildly fun. So, again, depending on the kind of teacher you have as well, also depends. Algebra 1 was easy, I don't know about next year. Yeah, Algebra 1, super easy. Passed it with the literal 100 in the class. Again, all of my classes in 9th grade were passed with about mainly hundreds. I never got a single B in a class because of how easy it was to manage, how easy it was to do. There was nothing really difficult in any of the classes. English 1 or English, whatever you want to call it, in 9th grade, flew by that. That's when you learn about the MLA format, I'm pretty sure. You either learn about it then or like right before. You kind of learn about the MLA format beforehand in middle school, but you don't start using it until like 9th grade. So I mean, I took Algebra 1 in 8th grade. It's not that hard. Geometry is easier than it, though. Algebra 1 is probably the easiest out of all the maths. And I say that because geometry is easier than Algebra 2. Definitely easier than Algebra 2. But I'm not sure if it's easier than Algebra 1. How many subjects do you have? I'm curious to know about that. So, my school is probably, again, I don't know how different schools are because I haven't really been to different, I've been to a whole lot of different states. Didn't really study the schools about them. So, in my school, we take 5 classes at a time, and each of those classes lasts for about an hour and 7 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, somewhere around there. So we take 5 classes each day. Then we have 5 classes, and that's the first semester. Second semester is another 5 classes, which can be the second part of another class. Like if you have Algebra 2, Part 1 here, Algebra 2, Part 2 here, stuff like that. So all in the entire year, we have 10 classes total. Not even different classes, it's just 10 courses that you take total. So that's what we do here anyway. In junior year, you will probably be subject to a lot of this because, again, I took geometry in my junior year, but most people usually take it in their sophomore year. So Algebra 2 will be your worst nightmare. It will be. It just will be. No matter what grade you take it in, it's going to be your worst nightmare because it is so god awful. So, again, really just a whole difficult thing that I've been spouting out to me words. The point is, junior year, hardest year, takes you from this to this. It's just enough to ruin your life. So, as you go from here to here to here, where does that put you in senior year? Well, I haven't been in my senior year yet. First day is tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Usually, the first day of senior year doesn't really make you do much. So, I won't be able to tell you completely what's going on, but as time goes on, I'll be able to explain more. See you, Quackington. Senior year, from what I have a lot of friends who graduated last year, and those gosh dang heroes. They were really great people, and it was hard to see them go, but you're used to it. I asked one of them about senior year, whole bunch, and he was pretty good academically. I mean, I'm pretty sure his SAT score was a 24, 25. Mine is around there. I think it's like a 23, 24, something like that. I'm not perfect, but I'm not perfect, but I'm not, bad. Are you the topper of class? Am I the top of my class? Well, I don't know yet. My class hasn't started yet. I was definitely not the top of my class in anything except history. I might have been the top of my class in history, and I say that because everyone else hated the teacher, which again is weird because he had really cool stories that were like awesome. So, give me 1 second. Sorry, I heard thunder, and that was really, really loud because I thought it was someone like banging on the door or something. It was weird. Sorry. Anyway, so again, people hated him for no reason because I don't know, because I guess they didn't like the way he taught. It was weird. Again, cool stories. Knew like six or seven different, knew like about five or six presidents personally. I can still hear the thunder. You can't get better than that. As a history teacher, you can't get better than him being part of said history that you're learning about. It's awesome. He also told us a story of how when he was like 10 years old, he shot a minigun for fun at like a junkyard or something. Like they had like a straight up, just like a straight up minigun. God! I mean, how cool of a teacher can you have? Like, God, sorry, I never really liked the people that in there that just didn't care. Like there were about 3 or 4 people in that class that asked questions and or cared about the class. Me included. It was fun. You have any tips for a rising sophomore? Rising sophomore. Well, let's get into this. So, when you go from your freshman year to your sophomore year, again, like I said before, it's a huge jump. Like it's not from here to here. It's not like little baby steps. I mean, you just leap 4 steps up. Completely changes your perspective on a lot. So, if you're going into your sophomore year, that means you're probably going to be taking geometry. Now, again, schools are different. You could be taking algebra 2. Usually it's geometry. If you're taking geometry, which school do you study? Well, I'm in high school right now. I'm not in a college yet. When I go into college, wherever that may be, I'll let you guys know. But again, right now I'm in just a high school, just a local high school down here, nothing special. God almighty, I'm talking. So, for your rising sophomore year, when you get to your sophomore year, you're going to go from Algebra 1, which is a fairly easy class. I think most of us can agree. Algebra 1, fairly easy class. Geometry is a step up from that, but it's not the same. It's Algebra 1, Algebra 2, geometry is like right here. So it's a bit different. Apart from that, your sophomore year will be difficult because it's a lot to adjust to. But there's really not much to worry about because if you just study and pay attention to academics. Listen, can I say something? Just hot take here. If you focus more on and I know this sounds so nerdy, so stupid, so what the stigma, like actually, okay, this sounds so stupid, so weird. I promise you right now, if you focus on your academics more than you focus on a girlfriend or boyfriend, friends, make as many as you want. They're awesome. But a girlfriend or boyfriend, I would not worry about until you are either in your senior year or pretty much out of there. Because most relationships, 95% of relationships, when that start in sophomore or junior year, don't last. Now, some can. It's not impossible. Some can. But it can also take away from you trying to learn. You are trying to get your classes up. If you get your classes up, you are going to succeed more and you're going to have a lot more opportunities. Depending on the job you want, you need a lot of opportunities to get the chance for that. Focusing on getting your grades up, focusing on, after school activities and stuff like that. Doing that is way more important. I promise you it is. I dated 3 or 4 people, I think it was 3 people, from my sophomore year to my junior year. I dated 3 people, and it was, again, worst decisions of my life, very short relationships. All of them ended in tragedy. One of them ended in something a lot worse. Because here's the thing. Don't take this as a sexist statement. A lot of the girls, especially in our generation, in this general age group, women love the attention their boyfriends give them. Understandably, I get that. Understandably, they want the attention. But you can't provide all of that attention when you're trying so hard to focus on everything else. Trying to focus on academics and a relationship, trying to make sure that's fine at the same time. It's impossible. It will spill out in front of you. I can't. Okay, I retract that statement. It's not impossible. It just is really difficult. It makes what sophomore year and junior year are. If you are at those levels, I promise you, if you get into a relationship and try focusing on both of those at the same time, you'll mentally fall apart. It happens to so many people, not just myself, but a bunch of other people as well. I promise you it will. Now, I'm not saying good God Almighty, I'm not saying relationships are bad. I'm really not. But if you want to actually try in school, if you want to actually give yourself opportunities and chances at succeeding in life, avoiding relationships for the time is not a problem. It's really not. And if someone likes you, if someone really, really likes you, you tell them this: I have nothing against you. Right now I'm trying to focus on my academics and trying to focus on trying to succeed. You just tell them later. You tell them if you're willing to wait, which again, perfectly fine if you're not willing to wait a year or two, okay? It's perfectly fine. If that person wants to wait for you, then they can. It's just that simple. Waiting until you're at least your senior year to start dating, I promise you from experience, is so much better. I used to be on the side that's like, why don't you just why not date at the same time? You know where that got me? Cheated on, and because I was so depressed about that, I started not caring about my classes anymore. So I stopped all of that. So I ended up causing myself more pain and more suffering than if I just not dated at all. I would have been fine. I thankfully brought those grades up over time. Took me a while. Brought those grades up over time, and called it a day. That was it, and that's all it needed to be. Junior year was troublesome. That's another story for a different time. Just focus, just over time, you'll realize that. I promise you it will. Now, the real world, yeah, I just saw the comment via Paulo. I just read the comment, and they're right. They are completely right. You don't always have to have depending on who you are, okay, and what you want to do with your life, depends a lot on your academic skill. Someone like me who wants to go to college, I want to be an actor. Big shocker there. Woo, surprise. I want to be an actor / voice actor, mostly voicing. I'm going to college for 2 years for that, because right now I'm trying to get experience in acting. And right now I can't. I've been teaching myself all these different ways to manipulate my throat and my voices, and trying to work on actually adding emotion and real power to my voice and to what I do, to my body, to acting, just to everything in general when it comes to that area. But I want 2 years of college so I can make sure I have plenty of time. I don't want 4 years, because in Tennessee we have a scholarship promise where if you do 10 hours of community service per year, okay, not even that much, 10 hours, it's like a single day of work. 10 hours of community service per year, and you get 5 free semesters of a state college in Tennessee. I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm going to get just 2 years of acting college in. That's it. That's all I want to do, because that's where my passion lies. Some of you may not have a passion. Some of you may discover that passion later. Some of you just may not want a passion. Some of you just may want to be like a house dad or a housewife. It really doesn't matter. House husband, housewife, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do affects how your academics work. So again, I'm not saying focus on school all the time. That can really depend on who you want to be as a person. But I'm saying is if you want to go to college and you want to make sure that if you want to go to a college and you want to be good in that field, focusing on your academics is probably important. And I hate saying that because now I'm on the other side of the spectrum and I realized, back then I was an idiot. Yeah, I know, whatever. I promise you, it makes all the difference because I used to be on the exact opposite side and used to be like, who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to date whatever. I will see. I like a girl. She likes me. Whatever. Let's do this. Didn't work out. It won't work. At least not for most of us. Again, I know a guy, one of my best friends, who has been dating the same girl for about 2 years now. Almost 2 years, I believe. Maybe even more than that. And they've been dating since their sophomore year, and they're hitting the senior years now. They lasted. That's a rare thing. That doesn't happen that often. I have seen a lot of friends and a lot of other people break up and split because their relationships don't stand. I went to college with a regular high school diploma in New York. I like that you found that in New York. I like that you found your passion and want to pursue it. Fortunately, mine does require much academic effort. See, that's perfectly fine. God almighty. Acting technically doesn't require a diploma or any kind of college. Jim Carrey literally got into acting because he was a comedian. It's not, how should I say this? Acting does not require any academic kind of skill. It requires ability and I guess just ability, really. It just requires the ability to do that. Popularity is an important thing. If you want to go into acting, getting yourself out there is one of the biggest steps you have to take, is getting yourself out into acting. But enough about acting. Back to academic school, what high school feels like. One of the main factors that you will encounter, I promise you this will happen. Maybe I can't even promise that. I don't like to promise anything because because maybe there's that one lone person who doesn't have this happen to them. You will see a lot of people in your school who don't do the same things as you. And I say that if you are trying to be academically good. They will not care. 90% of my school students, it's embarrassing that they're a part of my generation because some of them can't even form proper sentences. It's bad. And I'm scared for our future, but whatever, that's another time. I really should get water. Eventually. Thanks, Thunder. I still hear you. But again, you will see so many people not care about their school. They will see so many people who just don't care. They don't want to be there. They want to get out of there as fast as they can. They just don't care. They don't care about the rules. They don't care about whatever they have to. They just want to get out of there as fast as they can and just live their life. That doesn't usually take you on a path to anywhere good. Or usually it takes you on a path at all. People try doing this thing where they want to create their own path. Unfortunately, you're walking in the devil's woods here. Do you understand that trying to create your own path is perfectly fine? But trying to create your own path, like creating your own path is think of an actual path for a second. There's an actual path that's been, cut out all the stone and dirt, you replace it with gravel, put concrete on it, perfectly fine, beautiful path. All those 4 steps in place. People that want to create their own path should just put sand on top of the grass that they're trying to go over. Boom, perfect. You created your own path and are going your own way. That's fine. But what people sometimes try to do is they try to dig up the ground and the stone on their own and then place gravel and concrete on there. Not exactly an easy thing to do. Not impossible. But without the proper knowledge, you won't have any. You won't have a clue what you're doing. You won't be able to do it at all because you just don't have the ability to do it. You don't have the knowledge nor the ability to actually do something like that. So If you're going to create your own path, start small. Really do start small. If you think that you need to be this high up in academics your entire life, you are going to miss out on so much. Do not think that academics are everything. They're not. Have friends, make friends, go do fun stuff. But just make sure that you are balancing these things out, because a lack of balance can lead to you falling over. And sometimes when you fall, you can't get back up. So I mean, you're done at that point. You don't know. I do miss high school. My friend group went our own directions. I had to make new friends when I graduated in 2020. It's like a new path was made for me. I had to go down this rough road. Exactly. Sometimes things happen. And yes, most of your high school friends will probably never see you again, and you probably won't see them again, and vice versa. It just won't happen. It only your closest high school friends you see often. And I don't even want to say see often, because what if you two both go somewhere else? What if you're like across the world and she's still here, or he, whatever gender? It's a thing. It's just a thing. Sometimes you have to take a different path if you want to be happy yourself. That is the whole purpose, I believe, of life, is finding what you want to do, what you want to be, and figuring out a way to stay happy. In our country, we have with 15 years the same level of education as an American high school graduate. Now I begin to know why. Yeah, fair enough. So I believe that, again, high school differs in everyone. There is no set path for anyone in high school. There will always be something that changes. There will always be a different path for every person. Yes, some people can take the same path, but eventually that path will branch. That will branch off of it. But again, what I believe life is figuring out who you are, what you want to be, and how to make yourself happy for that. And maybe even find someone along the way. Now, most people get married. Most people find someone to get relationships. Some don't. Some stay alone their whole lives. I know a friend of mine who does not care. He just doesn't care about relationships. I assure you, he's gone through puberty. I assure you, he's not a late bloomer. He just does not care about relationships. And I commend him for that. I say, you are one heck of a man, because I could never do that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't before. I'm hopefully going to now this year. I'm trying to avoid any kind of relationship this year, for the most part at least. But the first semester, I'm not going to date anyone. Second semester, I'll leave the door cracked open for that. I'm not going to open it wide. I'm just going to leave the door cracked for it. And if the right person comes along, then woohoo, I'm having a happy time. Point is, again, relationships can get in the way. Mostly can during your earlier high school years to mid-high school years. It won't help. I am sunburned, and I am not drinking any water. You know how bad that is for me. You guys take a second to hear what I just said. That's a really heavy glass. That's a really just heavy glass. Which actually, I will. No, I'm not going to. I don't even know what that is. You guys sit here for a second. I'm going to get some water because I'm dying inside. Ooh, I needed the water. I'm dying. Oh, that helps. You know, home. Oh, that helps. Okay, so again, don't don't count yourself completely out of relationships. Just know what you're doing. Don't don't rush into things without kind of taking it step by step, because it will hurt you. Every year in high school, a new girl appeared, at least for me, and then when I was a junior, I got into a relationship and still am with a girl. And we had rough patches, but we were young and I made it work. There you go. See, some people, again, like Apollo here, mostly on my part for being young and dumb. Fair. I see you on that point. Um, like Apollo, some relationships can in fact work out. There is no guarantee that your relationship won't work out, or even a guarantee that will. It just depends on how mature you are by that point, and how mature your partner is at that point. If you, yeah, obviously no one is going to be that mature at that age. It is extremely rare for anyone to be that mature at that age. But depending on what you do, on how you focus on your relationship compared to everything else, can improve significantly with, oh, sorry, can improve significantly with, I mean, I don't know, anything really. Communication is key. It is. It really is. So, I mean, you you can be in a relationship and talk over and over again. I mean, like you can talk to the person, at the person, really. I'm not even talking to you. You're talking at the person, and what you get stuck with nothing. What are you doing? If you're just talking to at a person, you're not actually conversating with them. It's not even just that. You need to also talk with your partner about how you're managing your life, especially when you are in high school and you don't actually have a life yet. I mean, you have a life, but you don't have a full-on life yet. I mean, you just don't. You don't. You won't have a life until you're out of high school. You just won't. I can't say anymore. Unless you have some kind of big, rich life, you won't have a life out of high school at all. Because your life won't start yet. God almighty, that water tastes delicious, and I haven't even done anything to it. So, again, just no. I'm losing my words here. Just know what you're doing. Before you do it, don't do it. Really think about what you're doing before you do it, because I've always had that problem. I've always had that problem with rushing into things without really thinking about what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. I say I know what I'm doing, and then I jump into and I'm like, oh, can you pull me out? I don't know what I'm doing here. It really just depends. It really, really does on the person. I'm gonna keep saying this so people don't misunderstand me here. It depends if the person understands where you're coming from or if they're just being arrogant. Exactly. There really is no guarantee for anything. There is no guarantee for a human being. Everyone is different. There is no human alike. They can have similar paths, they can have similar looks, whatever. But nothing is ever gonna be the same. With the same, like nothing, no, you can't have two people on this planet who have been through the exact same events constantly in every aspect of their life. You cannot go through the same events and leave it at that. You can't. There's no way, because everyone goes through something different. That's how we as humans develop personalities and basically our souls. People who are hard-hearted, who are cruel or mean, usually have a reasoning as to why that happened. Usually, I mean, a lot of murderers don't really have families. A lot of murderers don't really have a mother or a loving mother or father. There's always something traumatic that will spark something. That's usually what happens. Not a guarantee. Usually what happens. Every human has to have a reason for something. You cannot do something for no reason, because there has to be something that sparked the idea in that head. You can say, oh, I just thought of it randomly for no reason. Well, you thought of it randomly for some reason. It's not because of no reason. It's because every thought you develop in your head is for a reason. Whether it's a quote from a movie, whether it's something else. If you quote any movie, it's because of the fact that you like that genre of movie, or you enjoyed the movie, and you quoted it. That already defines a bit of your personality as to what you're interested in and who you are. I mean, that's just that. That you already have everything you do defines your personality, who you are, and what you want to be. Now, drinking water, I'm hoping all of you do that. No judgment if you don't, but you have about 3 days to live if you don't. Just warning you, fair time ahead of there. You don't drink water, you have about 3 days to live. Considering you stop now. But you know what I'm referring to. So, that's my big spiel. I'm kind of just sitting here drinking water. What grade are you in? What does school teach you about nowadays? I'm going into my senior year, starting tomorrow, which is the first day of school for us. I'm at least what I last learned about. English 3 was a lot about books. English 3 was a lot about poems and old stories and kind of reading and defining why this person wrote this book, what the characters in the book were feeling, a whole bunch of different stuff like that. In English, in junior year, we took Algebra 2, Geometry, for whatever reason, so that's same things. Let's see, in history, I believe. History was a long process from, I want to say, the beginning of the Revolutionary War. Right? Yes. It was the beginning of the Revolutionary War, and we ended up going from that all the way to Obama's presidency, I believe. I don't think we did Trump's presidency at that time. I think they literally were just about to start, I think this year they're going to put Trump's presidency in there since the new election's coming soon or whatever, so they're getting Trump's presidency in there. Apart from that, history is, again, pretty much a straightforward line from 1776 to 2016. It's 350 years. Wait, no, that's not right. We'll say 215, call it like that. So, good God, my sunburn is killing me. Whew. So, that's where history lies at. Nearly 250. Yeah. 1775, 250, 220, 225. Yeah, so next year, it'll be 250 years since the Revolutionary War. It began a little bit earlier than that, but you get the point. Enjoy English doesn't sound like it changed much. I hated math but love history because the teacher made it sound like a podcast. Also, science was easy for me. I didn't have to take any science classes last year because I already did all my credits for them. I wanted to do a science class again, but I just had too many things that I wanted to do that were elective classes. So singers, theater, and my AV production class, my audiovisual production class, and there wasn't any room left for science, so I couldn't really do much for science. But biology, chemistry, and physics was fun. I will say that physics, chemistry, and biology were all very fun classes. Remember me when you were sick a couple weeks ago? I think I do. Why don't you tell us what you learned about 9/11? Because everything they taught you about 9/11, if you even studied 9/11 for 15 minutes, you'd instantly learn everything that you did about then. They really didn't teach us anything he really didn't teach us anything surprising or new about 9/11. It was pretty much straightforward. Just pretty much like 2 planes flew into a building. Who was it? Why did they do it? That's it. There wasn't a whole course on 9/11. There really wasn't. It was just a small little reference to it because even though it was a historical event, there's not really much you can cover. You covered who did it, why did they do it, how did they do it. Pretty much. Who, what, and why. That's pretty much all we covered. Maybe how. I think we covered a bit how did they manage to do that. Who did it? Well, it was a team led by Osama bin Laden. He was the main guy behind it. But it wasn't just Arabs. It was all different kinds. There was all different kinds of people from the what now? Good lord, my brain's dying. I'm sorry. It's been a long day today. Anyway, there was a whole different group of people from the Arabs, but not just the Arabs. There was a bunch of different countries and groups that were involved in it, at least. So don't keep your points there. It was more than Arabs. Well, I say that, but it wasn't really much. It was kind of like countries that were like right at that border there, like right at the Arabian the whole like Arabian like country, like the whole like all of like the different Arabian countries. I wouldn't really say more. If you'd been on one of the planes, could you have stopped it? Well, a team could. I don't think a single person could have. You mean the Middle East? Thank you. I almost said like the Middle West or something. I was trying to say East. East. What's East? The Middle East. Thank you. Good God, Paul. Thank you. I myself could not have stopped it. If there was a team, yes. Because that's what happened with the other plane who was, I'm assuming, going to the White House or something, maybe the Senate building. Imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy and then gives them the drugs to take away their unhappiness. Hey, isn't that just America? Giga Joe, isn't literally just like the country we're living in right now? Hope you're doing well in school. I got bullied for about 6 years from middle school to high school. A lot of thugs. People can't bully me because I scare them too much. The few that have tried, listen, I'm a very strange individual. I will do I don't resort to physical violence. I'm a very, very strong person against physical violence. Like, I can, people, if you want to fight other people, do it. I'm not going to stop you. But I myself don't usually fight physically unless it's in self-defense. What I do, I scare the living shit out of them. I'm about to go into high school. Any tips? Try to breathe, relax, and it's not going to be as bad as the shows make it. You just got to push through, focus on your classes, make some friends, make some good friends, not the bad ones, make some good friends, and enjoy your life. But you're not scary enough to have stopped at least one plane on 9/11. You could have scared the living shit out of the Arabs and non-Arab hijackers. No, they had guns. There's the difference. There's the difference. They had guns, most likely. They had. A couple of them made a bomb threat on the different planes, but some of them had guns. Some of them had the big pupils. Why didn't you stop them? They have knives. Some of them had knives. I'm pretty sure at least one of them had a gun. It was hidden somewhere. Why did you stop them? I wasn't alive by that point. My mother took a picture about a year exact. Was it? It was like a couple of years. It was like at least a year in front of the Twin Towers before that happened. So I mean, I could again, and she was like what, my age when that happened? How old is your mom? She's approaching about 40 or 41. She's not that old. I mean, she's old, but only because I'm old. I mean, she's not that old. She's not older than most people are. So she was about 16 when she took that picture in front of the Twin Towers. And that was in 2000 Y2K. It was Y2K. So was it in Y2K though? No, it couldn't have been. It had to have been a couple months before 9/11 happened. That's why she did tell me. It was a couple months before 9/11 happened. I'm now a senior nearing my final days of high school. I just want to know what would be a good job. I can't answer that question because I don't know what your interests are. I want to go into acting. So naturally, I'm trying to develop a reputation for myself. I also love doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube. My phone's at 2%. I need to plug it in. I love doing YouTube. It is a fun passion of mine to do YouTube. It will not be my main job. I promise you right now. I'm going to balance my phone right here. YouTube will not be my main job. It just won't. it won't be. I promise you it won't. So, I mean, it really just depends on the person. I'm a sophomore in high school right now, and I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice? Well, first of all, you have to find a niche. You have to find what you're interested in. And I learned that from a very important YouTube channel. You should go to them. I'm being serious. Hi, Lee, you're back. You should go to a YouTube channel, and it is called vidIQ. They are very good at teaching you about the algorithm, the I honestly everything. The algorithm itself, the whole aesthetic of YouTube, and different things like that. So go to them. Don't ask me. Go to them because that's what I learned from. I couldn't explain it nearly as good as what they could. Does your dad have ED? I don't think so. I would hope not. I mean, listen, I would hope not. No, my mother is not single. You leave her alone. You leave her out of this. Oh, God. So, again, not the person I would ask. I would not ask me for any YouTube advice. I can give you very basic amounts of information about YouTube. Don't you want your mom to be happy? She is happy with my father. Like, extremely happy. So I'm going to leave it at that. Then, bro, what is this? Found while scrolling. God, I cannot get this dumb live stream off of YouTube Shorts. I'm sorry. I'm telling people about how their late high school years are going to be like. And apparently getting my mother flirted with, which is extremely weird. Please stop, that's weird. So again, don't ask me. Ask vidIQ. They just watch the videos, I promise. Is the least terrible live streamer suggestion on Shorts right now? Yeah, I hope so. I try to make it fun. My advice out of high school is to find something on a job steady and supportive, to pursue your dreams or college in case anything fails. I went to college and pursuing a different dream. See, there you go. There you go. You are going. That's honestly the perfect thing I could say, or you could say. Good God Almighty, can my words come together in a good sense? Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine? I would hope so. I watched it about 3 times in theaters. What's your regular routine as a student? 3 classes, then lunch, then 2 classes, then we're out of there. Seriously, you seem nice and easygoing. Everyone else has been a train or Homer stage. I'm just trying to do streams for people. I have a whole voting platform. Again, I think YouTube Shorts is putting my live stream on there, or the feed anyway, because I'm streaming in a vertical format. I don't want to stream in a horizontal format simply because it's impossible to get everything in render. It's like everything that I want to show off. I'm so used to vertical format. I'm also filming on a phone, so it's kind of hard to do that. Lord Shrek, what are you going on about, brother? One second, everyone. Sorry, I had to drop it fast. Yoink. My father is going to take me to school tomorrow because I'm saving money for insurance before I can get my license. How about insurance? Can we talk about insurance and how expensive it is for a second? Like with the RGB lights, RBG lights. No, they can't have them. The FBI can't have the lights. Do you have a cousin? I have 2 that are blood cousins and 2 that are adopted, I believe. When did that book start falling? Yeah, I have two cousins that are adopted and two cousins that aren't. So fun. Kerboink. Maybe Giga Joe could be with your dad. I'd rather not. I'm very happy with my family, brother. Lord Shrek, what the hell? What? Why? Why are you like this? I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Giga Joe can marry your dad. I'd rather him not. I'd rather him not. So what's your channel for? What do you post? Strangely genuine stream. Okay. So I used to be heavily I used to be heavily passionate about memes. Like I just love memes. Like I used to love memes a whole lot. I still post them every now and then. I still find the occasional goodie and want to post some memes. That's actually where the channel kind of started from. Right now, I'm currently working on memes and different kinds of editing. That's what this channel is about. You're gonna see a lot of different content. There is no set content really. There are a bunch of edits that I'm trying to work on, different kinds. I worked on an analog horror that I made on my own, and it was filmed in this very house. And it was filmed and entirely edited on the phone that I'm streaming on right now. So that was a fun little achievement. Yeah, over like 1,000 views though. So I mean, hey, I'm proud of myself for it. But it's just me trying. I like building up editing skill, and that's what this channel is for. It's kind of me kind of building up my editing skills, trying to make everyone. I like entertainment. I like trying to entertain people. That's my whole niche, is trying to entertain people with anything I can do. Anything I want to do, I want to just try my best to do it. And so I have analog horror. I love I love redubbing or just dubbing over stuff in general with friends. Fun experience, fun times. It's killing my voice, and I haven't been able to upload any videos of me doing a redubbing without something been going wrong with my throat. Now, the last two were me because I had congestion, and so I couldn't really talk that much. I couldn't really talk that much, so I went, and then I went all the way back down here. I couldn't really talk that much. So, that was the first part. The pilot episode was probably the clearest my voice was, and then the problem was that I filmed it on a mic instead of like an actual mic, so that was a bit more of a problem. What's your name? My real name is Alex. So, I mean, bowl of food, Alex, whatever you want to call me. So, that's what this channel is mainly about. And then live streams on my community tab. There is a lot of different challenges that I try doing. Every week I do one or two, and it's, I have like a voting schedule for people. I have like different votes for people to vote. Ava? I know a lot of people that have a certain name. Ava could be one of them. That's not specific. Oh god, what was I saying? And now I've lost my train of thought. Good night, Alex. See you next stream. Good night, Apollo. I should probably head off here soon, probably within like the next 7 minutes. So when that timer hits 70 minutes, it's gonna be time for me to go. So, point is, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. What's the biggest animal you could beat in a fight? God, I don't know. I don't want to fight an animal. When does your school start? First day is tomorrow, unfortunately. Did I see this was about posting high school grad advice? If so, I'm about to be a sophomore in college, but I have some stuff if you want to. This isn't graduation. This isn't grad stuff. This is high school stuff. I am going to senior year of high school, and so I was kind of talking about like, I'm kind of trying to keep it in a bit of a high school range. I have no experience in college because I haven't been in college, so unfortunately, the fun things. But if you want to share anything, go ahead. I mean, do what you want. Go ahead, share. Go ahead. We got about a couple more minutes left before I'm gonna go and pack it up and call it a night. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. I'm a CIA operator in Tunis, Tunisia. Thank you for keeping it positive. Well, that's a crazy first half of that sentence, but the last half of that sentence was amazing. So, I mean, hey, cook. That's right, Aaron. I am interested to see how senior year is going to be. Every day that I think about the fact that I'm going into my senior year, I slowly lose more of my brain because it makes me realize how close I am to actually aging. Because I'm turning 17 in a couple of days, by the way. My birthday is coming up in about a couple of days. So I might do a stream on my birthday. Or a little birthday stream. Who knows? That might be the next stream, actually, because it's 5 days from now. Well, 4 days, technically. August 6th is my birthday. That's right, bitches. My birthday is the anniversary of the Hiroshima bomb. That's a fun fact for you. And if you think of bowl of food, you're not going to think of bomb of food now. You're going to think of bowl of bombs now. You're going to think about the fact my birthday is on the anniversary of Hiroshima, bitches. Sorry, that was just aggressive. I don't usually curse that much anyway. But, yeah, it's fun. It's a whole fun experience. You call my name. I'll drop my experience. I took a gap year after high school and I did some charity-ish work. Took some time to figure out what I want to do. I didn't just do work. Didn't just do work. Helped out some kids in need. And we're waiting for the next part. Don't worry, guys. It'll pop up eventually. Like I said before, toward the beginning of the stream, it's really just about what you want to do. High school is not the defining point of your life. Even my teachers have said that. Even my English teacher said that. She's a very smart, wise woman. High school is not the defining point of your life. If that is where you've peaked in life, God, well, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. If high school is where you peak, I'm sorry. I really am. High school is not the defining point of your life. It is an important one, but it's not the defining one. Thoughts on Deadpool 3? Well, you already know what I think about Deadpool 3. I made an edit on it. I posted a video about it. I love it. Best. People wouldn't agree with me on this, but I believe it is probably it's one of my favorite Deadpool movies. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's one of my favorite ones. Went to Mexico, then finally landed on psychology major. Want to do some counseling if I can. Not sure what branch yet, but honestly, just see what you want to do. Learning Spanish and playing rugby right now. Beautiful. I am also learning Spanish. I am trying to learn Spanish anyway. It's a semi-easy thing to learn. It takes you some time. I know how to say some sentences. Yeah, I know what like most of the basic different words mean, stuff like that. Nothing too special. Just, for the most part, I'm trying to know. But yeah, again, stream's gonna get ready. Stream's gonna get ready to be over. Here's my closing and final statement on this. Closing statement. Not really taking any more questions after this. In high school, you are going to face a lot of different hardships, a lot of different problems. You're going to face a lot of different people. You will meet a lot of different people, teachers, students alike, and you will have to learn how to deal with all this stuff at the same time. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be a hit turn. If you have never been in high school yet, if you're just now going to high school, I recommend you prepare yourself. Not for hell on earth. It's really not that bad. It's difficult. Don't prepare yourself for everything for the worst. It's not that bad. But prepare yourself slowly and carefully. Rushing yourself will not take you anywhere good. Learn how smart you are, where your talents lie, and where you want to be when you are finished with high school. You have years to think about what you want to do in your life, how you want to be as a person. take that time and consider what you want to do. Don't rush anything. Rushing will only make your life significantly worse. Just breathe. Think about what you want to do. Think about the kind of person that you want to share your life with. The kind of person that you would want to be with. Think about these things. Never make friends with people who are idiots. I mean that in a very base term. Don't make friends with people who don't really care. Make friends with people who care, not just about their work, but about you. You gotta make sure that the people that you're around reflect who you want to be as a person as well. If you are around people who are jerks, why would you want to be around those people if you don't? If you yourself don't want to be a jerk, then why surround yourself with jerks? Stuff like that. I believe that everyone has a purpose. I have believed that. It's a cringe thing to say, I know, but I believe everyone has a purpose. That how they find that purpose is up to them. There is no person that can lead you and define what you are or who you are, really. The only person that can define that is you. Now, I am a Christian. I heavily believe in God. I believe for a fact that he's real. Because there's been too many times in my life where I've held out hope for him to help me, and it has just happened without any reason. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. Just very coincidental things that I feel like that without asking it wouldn't have happened. If you were a Christian, having a strong relationship with God is important. I don't have as strong as a relationship with the big guy as much as I want to. I have never, unfortunately, showed interest in said thing. I want to. I really want to. I want to be as close to God as some people are. It's incredible, especially when you're down in the South. But, you really have to wonder, is it really up to a single person to who they're going to be? I mean, really, let's be honest for a second. Think about it for a second. If you grow up alone, you don't have if you grow up alone, no friends, no siblings, not really much of a family, you don't really have much of a personality, because your personality, how people are built, is off of the actions that have happened to them and the people that they are around. That's how personalities are developed, especially by the action part. What you do affects heavily who you are as a person. Whether or not you choose to steal those last few cookies out of the jar, okay, can depend who you are. Whether or not you choose to, be a jerk to everyone around you, or choose to be a nice guy around them. That again, a lot of the actions that you choose to take can define who you are. So, my best advice: do the right thing. Just be the good guy, be the right person, and you'll see it to it that eventually these things will come out for you in the end. But you can't just expect life to go right for you all the time. You have to work for a lot of things. You have to. There's no way to go through life without working through things. You have to do these things. So that's my closing statement on that, about the whole high school dilemma, about growing up, about how you're going to do your things. It's been a long stream. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes. It's been a long day for me. I've been sunburnt to high hell and everything else. So, thank you guys for coming. This was a really large stream tonight, so that's different. So, thank you guys for coming, and I really hope to see you guys again on my birthday in a couple days. So, have a good night.